Today, we're on a quest to find a unique and rare species of gull. Although most people lump all gulls together under the name seagull and might just think of them as one species, there are many interesting types of gulls that are underrated and overlooked. On this day, we only had most of the morning to try to find our target bird, so we headed out bright and early to drive up to Two Rivers, Wisconsin, where multiple individuals of this species were being seen.
Hey everyone, this is Ryan from Badgerland Birding. Today Derek and I are here with our friend Sammy, and we are looking for a very special gull species along the coast of Wisconsin, the Little Gull. It's actually the smallest gull in the world, and there's been a really nice looking breeding plumage adult here. So we're going to try to find it. The downside is we only have a morning to do it because we have to be back at a certain time, so we have to do this somewhat quickly. We're very hopeful we'll be able to find it, and if we do, it'll probably be one of the coolest looking gulls that we've seen lately.
We made it to the beach in Two Rivers and started looking for large flocks of gulls on the sand, although we didn't see too many at first. So we just arrived here in Two Rivers and now we're looking for the large groups of gulls. I don't see much here where we stopped, so we may have to cruise down a little further, just find those flocks and see if we can pick out the smallest bird. We headed down the coast and did manage to locate a flock of gulls. In this group were also Bonaparte's gulls, which looked most similar to the little gulls we were looking for, and we assumed they would probably be hanging out together. You got some Bonapartes?
There's Bonapartes to the left, yeah. There's all sorts of stuff out here. There's some herring gulls, there's a lot of ring-billed gulls, and I see Bonaparte's gulls, which I'm assuming the little gull would probably be with the Bonaparte's gulls, so that's probably where we should check first.
With one large gull flock in sight, we started picking through the individual birds, and did notice two that were considerably smaller than the others.
We spotted two little gulls already. They're not in breeding plumage, but there's at least two that we're seeing right off the bat. So we could get even more than two. Hopefully we can get that breeding plumage one somewhere.
The little gull is a dainty species that can be found in Europe, Asia, and select areas of North America. They feed on small vertebrates, insects, and other small invertebrates, picking them from the water surface, catching them out of the air, or diving into the water to find them. Little gulls can be identified by their small size, including their bill and legs, as well as their dark underwings. Breeding adults also have a fully dark head.
In the frame right now, I have the two little gulls plus a Bonaparte's gull, so it really allows for that size comparison. We can see that even though the Bonaparte's gulls are on the smaller side, there's still a noticeable difference between them and the little gull, and right now with them side by side, you can really see that stature difference.
Pretty cool to say we're currently looking at the smallest gull species in the world, and there are two of them hanging out right next to each other. Now these aren't the full breeding plumage adults, which are a little more striking with the full black head, so we're gonna still see if we can find one of the full-on breeding plumage birds. But it is awesome to see any type of plumage on these little gulls. They're more like terns, they're very petite, so you're kind of scanning the Bonapartes, like, oh, could that be one, could that be one? And they're like, oh, that's definitely one, because it's just so much smaller. And that's actually Sammy's lifer as well. Although the little gull was a lifer for Sammy, his excitement seemed to be a little delayed.
It'll catch up to me, okay?
When's this gonna happen? Like on the drive home, you're gonna be like, we saw
gull!
In the gull flock, we also picked out a Caspian tern and a common tern on the edge of the water. Unfortunately, we didn't get too much time to continue scanning the flock before we ran into a common problem birders have when looking at birds on the beach.
Just ran into the classic situation that everyone runs into if you're looking at birds on a beach. And it's that people started walking around the gulls, and then somebody had a dog that was let loose and they all just took off. We were in a great position to look through that flock, and now we're gonna have to re-find them, and hopefully activity kind of slows down on the beach in terms of people so that we can get some prolonged looks at some of these big flocks of birds, because I still want to see that breeding plumage little gull that we know is around somewhere.
We waited for the gulls to settle in at a different location and moved over to get a closer look. In the reshuffled flock, we were able to pick out another state rarity. Relocated the flock and found a nice Franklin's gull. This one has a pink wash on it, so it looks very different compared to all the other birds. Eye crescents, small pointed bill. This one really stands out. I'm gonna try to see if we can find the adult little gull. Seems like they've all kind of gathered over here. So I think multiple groups that were on the beach, since people were walking, they've all moved over here. So this could actually be really good for us.
Good collection of gulls so far. Franklin's is one that is definitely rare in our area, in our part of the country. Then Little Gulls, of course, incredible. Nice selection of different stages and cycles of herring gulls and ring-billed gulls. Could have something else in there too. We're just gonna have to pick through it.
So not only is there this big group here, there's a whole nother group of gulls back by where we started where there wasn't anything before. So it always pays to check and look for those species on the fringes, because like the little gulls are hanging out on the edge. So we're gonna probably scan this whole thing and see what we can pick out.
You're like, I live for this.
I live for gulls. There was a little gull in this group, which may have been one of the same individuals we saw earlier. But before we could look too closely, the gulls took off once again. There's another beach walker pushing the gulls down further, so we're gonna drive down and see if we can scan a group that I don't think we've checked yet. We took one more look at the flock further down without seeing the adult little gull. So we did not see the adult little gull, but we're pretty happy with the views we got of the other plumaged individuals and also the bonus Franklin's gulls. This was super successful. I'm glad we were able to come out and find some cool birds, especially in the summer.
Lifer, we got Lifer man here.
We're gonna take over the world. We're gonna take over the gulls.
Before we left Two Rivers, we checked one more location, spotting some pelicans out on the water, as well as some young killdeer exploring the landscape. On the way back down south, we did make a stop in Milwaukee to take another look at the long-stang and rare kelp gull that had been hanging out there, and it didn't take long to spot it in its usual location. On the way back, we made a stop in Milwaukee to see the rare kelp gull that's been hanging out. Probably the rarest gull in the US right now. So it was awesome to get little gull, Franklin's, and kelp gull, 3 rare gulls in one day.
This is a really spectacular way to end a great day of gulling, because we got the little gull, one of the rarest gulls in the country right now, I would say, at least the continental US, and then probably the rarest gull in the continental US now, the kelp gull, and then the Franklin's gull as well, another rare bird for our state. So 3 rare gulls in one day, I would say that that is pretty incredible.
After enjoying our views of the kelp gull, we decided to head out and call it a day, feeling pleased with seeing 3 rare gulls in the time we had. Which one was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Badgerland Birding.